All right, single team mock draft once again. I think these are interesting things to do. Kind of, zero in on one team and really see what the best idea is. So let's get into it. And the team we will be doing today is going to be, let's do the Detroit Lions. They are a team that, they're kind of just one of those teams where there's a lot of different ways they can go. The draft really kind of starts with them. I think Hutchinson is definitely going to go one in my opinion. So let's start with the team that has number two and has other picks as well. So for the Detroit Lions, you could make the argument to trade out, which I don't think is a bad argument. In fact, I think they should look for it. So, like for example, okay, right here, the Jets, the Panthers, the Giants. I like all of this. I think if the Panthers are going to be willing to trade back for spots, but the problem is the Panthers just have no other talent. I mean, what, a future first and second? Okay, well, this is pretty good value. According to this, the going back four spots could be worth multiple first round picks. That doesn't really feel entirely right to me, right? Because remember when the Jets moved up from 6 to 3, that cost them 3 second rounders, which is probably closer to accurate for a first and second. Tend to be what makes a little bit more sense. So they want to do that. The Panthers could be really bad next year. And maybe even throw on us. I guess let's just do whatever they'll allow us to get. 2 first rounders. Let's see if this works out. Okay. Well, that would be awesome, right? Multiple first rounders in future years and still going to get a good player. If that works out, I think Lions fans would be ecstatic because then who goes? So Thibodeau went there, which again, maybe a little bit flawed. I don't think the Panthers would trade multiple first round picks to move up from 6 to 2 to get a guy who isn't even a quarterback. I don't think that's going to happen. But regardless, Hamilton, Gardner, and then Ekwonu all went next. So who's the best player who's left over on the board? It's interesting. I mean, you could go one of the offensive linemen, put him at guard, and just say, let's have an awesome offensive line. Don't think that's what they do. I think you go. I would have probably gone Sauce Gardner if he was still there. He is not. So I guess give me Derek Stingley. Quality corner, can help out the team a lot. They need defensive help. Let's see what happens there. Maybe I could have traded down again, but decided not to. Going over here now. So 32, I just think quarterback is the move here. Whichever quarterback you feel strongest about, draft one at 30. That's left over, drafted at 32. Unless you want to spend number 2 overall on a quarterback, which you could do. That's an option on the table as well. I think I am going to go Matt Corral 32 because you get the 5th-year option. And that's so important is getting that 5th-year option because if Corral does work out, then you don't just get 4 good years of him at a cheap rate, but you get an option for a 5th year at still a reasonable deal for a quarterback. So that's why I like that here. And now, there's more things we have to do, including help out him now. Maybe Sky Moore could be an option with this high pick, or you could go other ways. I think you can get some other talented receivers later on in the draft. So I don't think I actually go wide receiver now. I think I wait a little bit. Maybe you could even trade back a little bit. Let's see if trading back is an option. I could trade back 5 spots with the with the Chicago Bears. But what am I getting? A 148. I don't know if I care about that too much. What else could I get? I could trade back to the Eagles at 51 and get multiple. Okay, the 83rd overall pick and then 124. But I'm going back 15 spots. Is that worth it? Probably. There's enough holes on this roster. Let's see if I can trade back. Accepted it. So a couple of trade backs, which I think are smart for a team that has a lot of holes. Trade back if you can. They were able to trade back. And still some players I like. Drake Jackson is available here at 47. I think I'm actually higher on Cameron Thomas. They're both kind of in the same boat to me. So I'll take just the guy who is the conventional pick there, Drake Jackson. In round 2, then early round 3. There again several ways you can go with this. You could go Alec. I think I'll go Alec Pierce, wide receiver. I like. We could add some wide receiver help for the Detroit Lions. They could use that kind of stuff. So doing that, I think makes a ton of sense. And then what else do we have? So we're here at 83. 83. Who else can we get? Could go another wide receiver. Again, that is an option. I don't hate that necessarily. Or do we reach a little bit? Maybe get a Brian Cook. He's someone who I drafted on a decent amount of these drafts. You could get a Neil Farrell Jr., another guy who I like, but you could probably get both of those guys later on as well. I like Brian Robinson. Wouldn't spend that high of a pick on him. I didn't realize Majai Sanders was this high up. So there's guys available that I like who are still on the board. So that's interesting to me. But do you just go another wide? I think you go wide receiver here. They need wide receiver help. Get two of these kind of flyer guys. I like that option. 97 here with the pick. What do we do? Do I go Brian Cook? I don't really need a safety. And what's really the value there? I kind of like Neil Farrell Jr. better. So I'll draft him here with the Lions. And then we have one more pick, 124, a pick that we got in one of our trade backs. You know what? I've done this with a couple. I think this is a good idea. I don't hate the idea of getting Bailey Zappi, right? You're just getting another shot, getting another opportunity to hit the quarterback position. And if it doesn't work out, well, then fine, it doesn't work out. But it's a plan B instead of having your plan B be Jared Goff is awesome, which seems unlikely. And, or your plan B, you have Matt Corral as what I'm assuming is the plan A now. Get Bailey Zappi. I don't hate that logic. I guess who else would you get at this point as well? And it's really going to make that much of an impact. There's not really that much else left here at pick 124. We're in a mid-4th round pick, taking a quarterback with some potential who had solid production. Again, does he have the biggest arm? No, but I don't hate that pick at this spot and just have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. If nothing else, hopefully he can be a cheap backup or something like that. He's gotten some Case Keenum comparisons, so he'll cost nothing. I like this. So this is the Lions mock draft. Derek Stingley Jr. So first, the trade, which only got A-. Again, maybe he's a little bit of flawed stuff here with the PFF trade down chart. I can't imagine that 4 spots is going to be that important, but it would be important. It would be, probably a first rounder, to be honest. So again, the logic as a whole is trade down just in general. So we traded down and still got a really good player and now have multiple first-round picks for the future that we wouldn't have had otherwise with the Panthers, who might be really bad next year. That's another factor here. Matt Corral at 32. He gets a potential 5th-year option, and we're taking a flyer on him. Traded down again with the Eagles to acquire a couple of more picks, including another, the 83rd overall. With the 51st overall, we got Drake Jackson. Added a couple of receivers, Alec Pierce and Khalil Shakir. And finally, we finished up the draft. Neil Farrell Jr. and Bailey Zappi. Overall draft grade gets an A. So there you go. I would like this draft if the Lions did it. Now, what I would say is, I think with the Texans draft, who they had more talent or more draft capital as a whole, because instead of number 2, they had number 3, but then they also had all the Browns draft picks. But with that one, what I did was, and I'm not sure if I've released that yet or not, but if not, it will be released shortly. And with that one, a difference between that and this is I feel like I took more swings with the Lions, which is interesting. I'm not sure exactly why I made that decision, but I thought Matt Corral is, in the first round, as opposed to, I think I got Corral in the second round with the Texans. That's a bigger swing. It could backfire, but it could work out. I think Derek Stingley Jr. is a big swing, and we'll see what happens. But I definitely think that, again, with multiple first round picks for now, the next couple of years, if I traded down and kept it all in this draft, I would have had more talent. But yeah, anyways, it's interesting. Always fun to do this stuff. What did you guys think of this Detroit Lions mock draft? Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.